How did one small camera in our family cabin turn into papers that told me I had to leave my home the same day? Why did my husband stay calm in public while I stood there shaking, holding documents with my name on them? What kind of man watches the proof, says nothing, and still wins without raising his voice? My name is Lavinia Harper, but most people call me Liv. I was 34 then. I worked as an office admin at a dental clinic. I booked patients, filled forms, and kept the front desk calm. I knew how to smile when I was tired. I also knew how to make things look normal when they were not. Ethan was my husband. He was 36. He worked for the city as a building inspector. He liked rules and neat lines. He liked doing things the right way. People said he was steady. I used to say that was good. Later, I said it was boring. That winter, I felt like my life was shrinking. I woke up, packed lunches, drove, worked, came home, cleaned, slept. Ethan did his part, but I did not feel seen. He asked how my day was. I said it was fine. He asked what I wanted on the weekend. I said it did not matter. I told myself that meant he did not care. I ignored the part where I also stopped caring. We had 2 kids. Mia was 8, Noah was 4. Mia watched faces more than cartoons. Noah ran through rooms like a small storm. I loved them, but I also felt trapped by the noise and the needs. I told myself I deserved something that felt like me again. One morning, Ethan stood in the kitchen with his coffee. He watched me scroll on my phone. He asked why I always kept it face down. I said it was just a habit and he was reading into it. He said he was not accusing me, and he just felt shut out. I told him he was being dramatic. I said trust should be automatic in a marriage. The truth was simple. There was a man named Cole Navarro. He was 35. He did HVAC work and always had a story about driving somewhere far. He knew how to look at me like I was new. He had started coming to the clinic because a friend worked in the same building. At first, it was small talk. He asked how my day was going. I said it was long. He said I looked like someone who carried too much. I said he did not know me. He said he wanted to. I did not call it cheating in my head. Not yet. I called it air. I called it a break. I told myself Ethan did not notice me anyway. I said, respect follows results. And I had results. I ran the house. I ran the kids. I ran my job. Ethan just showed up and checked boxes. That is what I told myself. At the clinic, my friend Kira Sato worked as a dental assistant. She loved gossip the way some people love coffee. She asked why I looked happier lately. I said I was just trying to focus on myself. She said I deserved attention. I did not correct her. I liked how it sounded. That afternoon, I took my lunch in the small break area. Cole texted me and asked if I wanted to grab a drink sometime. I stared at the message longer than I should have. My fingers moved fast. I said maybe. He replied with a smiling face and said he liked my energy. My heart beat like I was 20 again. I told myself it was harmless because it was only messages. My manager, Talia Rowe, walked past the front desk later and asked if I could stay 10 minutes to finish a form issue. I said yes, but I also felt annoyed. I had plans in my mind now, even if I had not made them real. I began to see every request as someone taking from me. When I got home, Ethan was in the living room building a small puzzle with Noah. Mia sat nearby with her homework. Ethan looked up and asked how work went. I said it was busy. He asked why my car was later than normal on the driveway camera. I said traffic was bad. He nodded, but his eyes stayed on me a second longer than usual. I felt judged. I hated that feeling. I decided he caused it. I asked why he was tracking me. He said he was not tracking me, and he only noticed because the kids were asking when I would be home. I said he was making me sound like a bad mother. He said he did not say that. I said he implied it. He stayed quiet after that. I liked that better than him talking. Silence let me win. Later, after the kids went to bed, Ethan walked into the kitchen and started wiping the counter again, even though it was already clean. He asked if I wanted to plan a family weekend at the cabin soon. We had a small cabin by a lake that belonged to his family. It was simple and old, but it felt warm in summer. I said maybe. I acted like it was a small topic. Inside, my mind jumped. I asked him why he wanted to go. He said the kids loved it, and it might be good for us. I said he always wanted to fix things like they were broken machines. He asked what I meant. I said he treated feelings like chores. He said he was trying. I said trying was not the same as understanding. I went upstairs and shut the bedroom door harder than needed. I wanted him to follow me. He did not. He stayed downstairs. That made me angry, so I told myself it proved my point. In bed, I opened my phone again. Cole sent another message and asked if I was free this week. I said I would see. He said he liked the chase. That line should have bothered me. Instead, it made me feel powerful. The next day, I met my sister Daphne for coffee near her salon. Daphne was 33 and always had strong opinions. She asked how Ethan was. I said he had been off. She asked what that meant. I said he was controlling in quiet ways. I said he asked questions like a police officer. Daphne frowned and said, "Men like that never change." She said I should not shrink to make him comfortable. I did not tell her about Cole. Not yet. I wanted to keep my good image even with my sister. I wanted her to be on my side before she knew everything. That night, Ethan cooked pasta. He asked me to sit with him for a minute after dinner. He said he felt like I was far away. He asked if I was unhappy with him. I said he was making it about him again. He said it was about us. I said us was just a word he used to trap me in talks I did not want. He asked if there was someone else. He asked it softly, like he was afraid of the answer. I felt a flash of panic, but I covered it fast. I laughed once and said he watched too many sad movies. I said he needed to stop being insecure. He looked down at his plate. He said he was not trying to fight. I said good because I was tired. I went to the sink and washed my mug. I set it on the drying rack. His mug was already there. For some reason, I moved mine to the other side, far from his. I told myself it was nothing, but I liked the distance. As I turned off the kitchen light, I saw Ethan's phone on the counter. The screen lit up with a calendar reminder. I did not see details, only the title and time. It said, "Meeting, personal 7:40 p.m. Ethan came in and flipped the phone over like it was private. He did not explain. He just looked at me and asked if I was coming to bed. I said yes. I acted calm, but my stomach felt tight, like something had started moving without me. The next day, I carried that calendar reminder in my head, like a small stone. I told myself Ethan was being secret too. I told myself it made us equal. That thought felt like relief, even if it was not true. At the clinic, Kira asked why I looked sharp. I said I just wanted to feel like myself again. She asked if Ethan finally learned to treat me right. I smiled and said he was trying, but it was still hard. I did not say anything kind about him. I let the silence do the work. My manager, Talia, asked if I could cover the phones during lunch. I said yes, but I also felt trapped. I kept checking my screen for Cole. When his name showed up, my chest lifted. He asked if I could meet that evening for one drink. I said I had family stuff. He replied that I always said that. He said I deserved a night where I was not just the responsible one. I told him he was being dramatic, but I still liked the words. After work, I drove home and found Ethan in the garage sorting a box. He was lining up small items like screws and nails. It looked calm, but it also looked like control. He asked how my day was. I said it was fine. He asked if I wanted to go out this weekend with the kids. I said maybe. He asked why I said maybe to everything now. I said he asked too many questions. He looked tired. He did not fight back. That made me feel like I had to push harder to prove I was right. I changed clothes and told him I was meeting Daphne for a quick drink. He asked what time I would be back. I said not late. He asked which place. I said the rooftop bar near the river. He nodded like he was accepting it. but I saw his eyes go still. He asked if he could come too. I laughed and said it was a sister thing and he would hate it. He said he did not want to be a problem. I said he already was, because he made everything heavy. On the way there, Cole texted again and asked if I was sure I was meeting my sister. I said yes, because I did not want to deal with his moods. He replied with a single word, sure. I told myself he was joking. I also told myself that if Cole got jealous, it meant I mattered. The rooftop bar was loud but not wild. Kira was there with 2 other friends from the clinic. Daphne came late, with her hair perfect and her eyes bright. They asked how Ethan was doing. I said he was acting like a victim again. Kira asked what he did this time. I said he watched me like I was going to run away. I said he was insecure and needed constant proof. Daphne asked if he ever apologized. I said he never apologized for anything. That was not true, but it was easy to say. Kira asked if Ethan was the type to check my phone. I said yes, like it was a fact. I said he did not trust women. I said he used concern as a way to control me. Daphne shook her head and said, I should not live like that. One of Kira's friends said I should post more about boundaries. I said I already did sometimes. They all nodded like I was brave. I took a picture of my drink and the city lights. I posted it with a line about choosing peace. I did not write Ethan's name. I did not need to. People who knew us would guess. That was the point. A few minutes later, someone commented and asked if I was okay at home. Another person wrote that I deserved better. I read those words and felt strong. I told myself I was not hurting Ethan. I told myself I was just telling my truth. Daphne asked if I wanted to talk for real. She asked if I still loved Ethan. I said, love was not enough if a man did not grow. She asked what I meant by grow. I said he did not match my energy. I said he acted like life was a list. I said he never surprised me. Daphne said I should not waste my best years. I agreed fast because it sounded like wisdom. While we talked, my phone buzzed again. It was Cole. He asked if I wanted him to come by. I said no, not tonight. He asked why I was afraid. I said I was not afraid, I was careful. He said careful was another word for stuck. I did not reply. I told myself he was pressuring me, but I also liked that he wanted more. When the night ended, I went down the stairs to the street with Daphne. She said Ethan would never change. I said he would if he cared. She asked if I even wanted him to. I said I did not know. That was the first honest thing I said all evening. At home, the house was quiet. The kids were asleep. Ethan was on the couch with a blanket. The TV was off. He looked up when I walked in. He asked if I had a good time. I said yes. He asked if Daphne was okay. I said she was fine. He asked why my sister did not text him back when he checked if the kids were asleep. I froze for half a second. I said Daphne must not have seen it. He sat up and asked why I looked tense. I said he was interrogating me again. He said he was just talking. I said his tone was always a test. He said he did not want to fight. I said then, stop acting like I am guilty. He looked down at his hands. He asked if I would sit with him for a minute. I said I was tired. He asked if I still wanted this marriage. I said he always brought up big questions at bad times. He asked when a good time was. I said not now. I went to the kitchen for water. Ethan followed but stayed near the doorway. He asked if I could show him the post I made. I said it was nothing. He said people were messaging him and asking if he hurt me. I shrugged and said that was not my problem. He asked why I would let them think that. I said if he felt attacked, maybe he should look at his own behavior. He asked what behavior. I said his controlling behavior, and I waved my hand like it was obvious. He opened his mouth like he wanted to argue, then he stopped. He nodded once. He said he understood. He said he would give me space. He turned and walked to the hallway. As he walked away, his phone made a soft beep on the counter. I glanced at it. The screen flashed for a moment, then went dark. I told myself it was just a notification. I told myself I was imagining things because I was stressed. Before bed, I looked for my keys. The main house keys were there, but the cabin keyring was not in the bowl. I searched the counter, the drawer, the shelf by the door. It was gone. I stood there longer than I should have, listening to the quiet house, and I told myself Ethan took it to punish me. Then I told myself that meant I was allowed to do what I wanted next. At work the next morning, I acted like nothing happened. I smiled at patients. I answered phones. I told myself I was in control, but my eyes kept drifting to my bag, like my phone was the only real thing in my day. Kira came in with her coffee and asked if Ethan said anything about my post. I said he was being weird about it. She asked if he tried to guilt me. I said he always tried, in his quiet way. Kira rolled her eyes and said, "Men hate when women get attention." I nodded like that was a fact. It felt good to have someone agree with me without asking for details. Around mid-morning, Talia called me into her small office. She closed the door and asked why my time entries changed twice last week. I said the system must have glitched. She asked how a glitch matched the exact minutes I left early. I said I had to pick up my son and I forgot to tell her. She asked why I did not email her like the policy said. I said I was overwhelmed and she knew I worked hard. Talia stayed calm. She said she appreciated my work, but she needed accurate records. She said the clinic had audits and she could not ignore patterns. I felt heat in my face. I told her she was making a big deal out of small mistakes. She said she was not trying to shame me, and she only wanted it fixed going forward. I said I understood, but inside I felt offended. I told myself even my job was trying to control me now. When I returned to the front desk, I texted Cole. I said my boss was on my back and I needed a break. He replied fast and said I should let him steal me for a night. I said he was being dramatic. He said I sounded tired and he could make me laugh. I told myself I deserved laughter. I also told myself Ethan was the reason I had to look for it elsewhere. At lunch, I called Daphne. I asked if she could watch the kids for a weekend soon. She asked why. I said Ethan needed space, and I needed space too. She asked if it was a cabin weekend. I paused, then I said I was thinking about it. Daphne said she could help if I gave her notice. She asked if Ethan agreed. I said Ethan did not need to agree, because I was their mother. Daphne went quiet, then said I should be careful. I told her she was acting like my mother. She said she was acting like someone who did not want to clean up a mess later. I ended the call quickly. That afternoon, Ethan texted me one question. He asked if I knew where the cabin key was. I stared at it and felt my heart jump. I typed that I had not touched it. He asked if I was sure. I said yes. He replied with, "Okay." That was it. No fight, no threats, just okay. I hated that response. It made me feel like he already knew something. After work, I went to the gym, even though I did not really want to work out. I wanted to be seen. I wanted to feel like a different version of myself. Cole met me near the smoothie counter, acting like it was normal. He asked how my day was. I said my husband was being cold. He asked if Ethan yelled. I said Ethan never yelled, and that was the problem. I said he punished with silence. Cole said silence was a game, and I should stop playing it. I told him Ethan started it. Cole said I should come with him to a place that did not have rules. I laughed and asked what that meant. He said he knew a quiet lake cabin with no neighbors. I felt my throat tighten, but I did not say no. In the gym lobby, Cole asked if I missed being wanted. I said every woman wanted to feel wanted. He said Ethan took me for granted. I said Ethan only noticed me when I was leaving. Cole said that meant Ethan was weak. I should have defended my husband. Instead, I let the words sit there. They made it easier to keep going. When I got home, Ethan was making dinner for the kids. Mia was at the table drawing. Noah was pushing a toy car along the edge of his plate. Ethan asked if I could help cut vegetables. I said I was tired. He nodded and did it himself. During dinner, Mia asked why Dad looked sad lately. Ethan looked at her and said he was just thinking. I jumped in and said he had work stress. I said the city job was heavy. Ethan glanced at me like he heard the lie, but he did not correct it. Mia nodded slowly like she did not believe either of us. Noah asked if we could go to the cabin soon. Ethan said maybe. I felt a sharp twist inside. The kids said cabin like it was a safe word. After the kids went to bed, Ethan stood in the hallway and asked if we could talk for 5 minutes. I said I was not in the mood for lectures. He said it would not be a lecture. He asked if I planned something with the cabin. I asked why he cared now. He said it was a family place and he wanted to know who was going there. I laughed and said he was acting like the cabin was a bank vault. He said it was not about objects and it was about trust. I said he did not trust me because he had issues. He asked if I could answer the question anyway. I said no, because I would not reward paranoia. He looked at me for a long moment. He asked if there was someone else in my life. I said he was being ridiculous again. He said he was asking because he felt the distance. I said he created the distance by being cold. He said he had not changed and I changed. I said people are allowed to grow. He asked what my growth looked like. I said it looked like me not being trapped. He did not argue. He just nodded and walked to the kitchen. I followed because I wanted to see what he would do. He opened his laptop at the table. I saw a spreadsheet grid, but I could not read the title. He clicked through tabs fast. When I asked what he was doing, he said he was organizing household things. I said that was convenient timing. He said it was overdue. I said he was making a performance. He said he was trying to reduce stress for the kids. That line annoyed me. I told him to stop using the kids like a shield. He asked me not to talk like that. I said he was trying to control my words now too. He shut the laptop without slamming it. He picked up his mug and washed it. Then he washed mine too, like we were normal. I left the room and checked my phone in the bedroom. Cole sent a message asking if the weekend was still possible. He said he would bring groceries and keep it simple. I typed yes, then erased it, then typed yes again. I told myself it was only a weekend. I told myself it was not like I was moving in with him. I told myself Ethan pushed me into it. The next day, at the supermarket after work, I bought extra snacks and bottled water like it was for the kids. I felt sneaky and smart. At the checkout, my card took longer than usual. The screen flickered, then approved. I told myself it was a normal delay. Still, my stomach dropped. When I walked outside, my phone buzzed with an alert from an email address I recognized. It was the cabin security system. The message said there had been a new login attempt and a device check. My hands went cold. I looked around the parking lot, like someone might be watching me. Ethan had never talked much about the cabin system. We set it up years ago, and I forgot about it most days. Now it felt like a spotlight. I sat in my car and texted Ethan. I asked if he changed something in the cabin account. He replied that he did not change anything. He asked why I was asking. I typed that I got a weird alert and it might be spam. He said okay again. Then he asked if I wanted him to look at it later. I said no, because I did not want his help. I drove home gripping the wheel too hard. I told myself Ethan was overthinking. I told myself the cabin system was just old and buggy. I told myself I could explain anything if I needed to. But even as I said it in my head, I felt something else under it. I felt like the story I built was starting to crack, and I did not know where the next crack would show. I planned it like it was a harmless trip. I told myself it was only a weekend. I told myself I was not doing anything real because I still came home after. That was my logic. It made me feel clean. On Friday, I told Ethan I needed time away to clear my head. He asked if I meant a spa day or a hotel. I said it did not matter where, and I said I needed space from his questions. He asked who would watch the kids. I said Daphne offered. He said he had not heard that from Daphne. I said he did not need to, because I already arranged it. He asked if I could please confirm the plan with him. I said he was acting like my manager. He did not raise his voice. He looked at me for a moment and asked if I was going to the cabin. I asked why he kept bringing up the cabin. He said because the key was missing and there were alerts on the account. I said he was obsessed. He said he was concerned. I said concern was a mask for control. That afternoon, I packed a small bag. I did not pack like a mother. I packed like a woman going to prove something. I chose a nice sweater. I chose perfume. I told myself I was allowed to feel pretty. I told myself Ethan stopped trying a long time ago, so I had to try for myself. Daphne picked up the kids after school. Mia hugged me and asked if I was coming to her reading night. I said I might be busy, but I would try. She asked where I was going. I said I was going to rest. She said Dad looked worried. I said Dad worried too much. Mia nodded, but her eyes stayed on my bag. She saw more than I wanted. Cole picked me up near the gym parking lot so neighbors would not see. He said it was smart. He asked if I felt excited. I said I felt free. He smiled and said, freedom looked good on me. I should have heard the warning in how he said it, like freedom was something he could wear too. Instead, I liked the compliment. We drove out of town. The sky was pale and the roads were long. Cole played music and tapped the wheel. He asked if Ethan suspected anything. I said Ethan was paranoid and always assumed the worst. Cole said men like Ethan only knew how to punish. I said Ethan punished with silence. Cole said silence was still punishment. I agreed, because it made me sound like the victim. At a gas station off the highway, Cole went inside for snacks. I stayed in the car and checked my phone. There were 2 missed calls from Ethan and 1 message. He asked if the kids were safe at Daphne's. He asked if I could confirm. I felt annoyed. I told myself he did not need updates. I typed that everything was fine and he should stop stressing everyone out. He replied that he was not trying to stress me and he only wanted to know where the kids were sleeping. I did not answer that part. Cole returned with chips and bottled water. He asked if I wanted coffee. I said no. My stomach felt tight, but I blamed the road. I stared at the receipt in his hand and noticed the time printed on it. I felt a strange need to remember details, like my brain was saving evidence without telling me why. When we reached the cabin area, the trees got thicker and the air smelled like cold water. The cabin sat back from the road, quiet and plain. The porch light was off. The windows looked dark. Cole said it was perfect. I said yes, but my voice came out smaller. The smart lock beeped when Cole typed a code. I froze. I asked how he knew the code. He said I told him once, a long time ago, when I joked about how easy it was. I tried to remember if I did. I could not. I did not like that he had it, but I also did not want to look unsure. I said it was fine. Inside, everything felt the same and not the same. The living room smelled like old wood and dust. There were family photos on a shelf. One showed Ethan holding Mia on his shoulders. Another showed me with Noah on my hip. I turned the photos slightly, like I did not want them looking at me. Cole walked around like he owned the place. He asked where the drinks were. I said the cabinet by the sink. He opened drawers and laughed when he found board games. He asked if Ethan ever relaxed. I said Ethan only relaxed when things were planned and tidy. Cole said that sounded like a boring life. I agreed again, because I wanted to feel brave. We kept it simple that night. We ate snacks and watched a movie with the volume low. Cole tried to pull me close. I said I was tired. He asked if I was scared. I said I was not scared, and I was just thinking. He said thinking was why I was unhappy. I told him he did not understand my marriage. He said he understood that I deserved better. That line made me feel warm and sick at the same time. Later, I went to the bathroom and looked at myself in the mirror. My face looked normal, but my eyes did not. I told myself I was still a good person. I told myself good people could make mistakes. Then I corrected it in my head. I told myself it was not a mistake. I told myself it was a choice that saved me. In the middle of the night, my phone buzzed. It was Mia calling from Daphne's. I stared at the screen and let it ring twice before I answered. Mia asked if I was okay. I said yes, and I was resting. She asked why Dad was quiet. I said Dad was tired. She asked if I would be home tomorrow. I said maybe. She went silent, and then said she missed me. I said I missed her too, but my voice sounded thin. When I hung up, I felt angry at Ethan for making the kids worry. I told myself it was his mood that caused this, not my choices. The next morning, sunlight came through the cabin windows. Cole made coffee and acted cheerful. He asked if I felt better. I said a little. He asked if I wanted to go for a walk by the lake. I said yes, because sitting still felt worse. As I walked through the living room, something caught my eye near the shelf by the TV. It was small, like a dark dot. I leaned closer. It looked like a lens. My skin went cold. I told myself it was an old sensor or a screw head, but I knew what a camera looked like. We had installed one years ago after a break-in nearby. Cole asked what I was staring at. I said nothing. He came closer and followed my gaze. He asked if it was a camera. I said it was probably dead. He asked if it had a light. I looked again and saw a faint tiny glow like it was awake. My mouth went dry. Cole asked if Ethan could see us. I said Ethan never checked that stuff. Cole asked if I was sure. I said yes, but my voice shook. Cole said we should unplug it. I told him not to touch anything. He asked why I cared. I said because it was still my family's place. He laughed and said family did not matter if I was here with him. That laugh made me feel suddenly unsafe, but I pushed the feeling down. I pulled out my phone and checked my messages. There was a new one from Ethan. He said he hoped I was safe. He did not ask where I was. He did not accuse me. He did not beg. He just said he hoped I was safe, and he would pick up the kids after lunch. That calm message hit me harder than anger. I stood in the cabin with the quiet camera watching, and I felt like I was not the one writing the story anymore. I did not sleep well after I saw the camera. I kept telling myself it was not a big deal. I kept telling myself Ethan probably never checked it. I kept telling myself even if he did, he would not understand. I said to myself that a camera could not show feelings, and feelings were the real story. Cole acted normal that morning. He asked why I looked tense. I said the cabin felt strange. He asked if I regretted coming. I said I did not regret anything, and I just did not like surprises. He asked if I wanted him to cover the lens with tape. I said no, because touching it would make it obvious. I told myself that was smart. I also told myself I was protecting Ethan from seeing something he could not handle. On the drive back, Cole asked what I would tell my husband. I said I would tell Ethan I needed quiet time. Cole said Ethan would ask for details. I said Ethan always wanted details because he liked control. Cole asked if Ethan ever got angry. I said Ethan acted calm, but calm was another kind of anger. Cole laughed and said calm men were the worst, because you never knew what they planned. I told him Ethan did not plan anything. I said he just reacted. Still, I watched my phone the whole drive. Ethan did not spam me. He sent one message about the kids' pickup time. He said he picked them up after lunch and they were fine. He asked if I could confirm when I would be home. I felt irritated, like he was making me check in like a teenager. I replied that I would be home later and he should not make it a big thing. He responded with, okay. That was all. When I walked into the house Sunday afternoon, the kids ran to me. Noah wrapped his arms around my legs. Mia hugged me, but not for long. Ethan stood in the kitchen and asked if my rest helped. I said yes. He asked where I stayed. I said with Daphne. He looked at me for a second and then nodded like he was filing the answer away. He did not demand proof. That should have made me relax. It did the opposite. I felt like he had stepped back on purpose, like he was watching from far away. That evening, we had dinner plans with his parents at a family restaurant. It was one of those places with long tables and bright lights and too much noise. Ethan's mother, Ruth, brought coloring pages for the kids. Ethan's father, Gordon, asked Ethan about work. No one asked me about my weekend at first. I almost felt safe. Then Ruth smiled at me and asked how Daphne was. She said she hoped Daphne was not overwhelmed with the kids. I said Daphne loved having them. Ruth said she texted Daphne to thank her, but did not get a reply. My face warmed. I said Daphne's phone was always on silent. Ruth nodded politely, but her eyes stayed gentle and sharp at the same time. Gordon asked Ethan if we were still thinking about the cabin trip for summer. Ethan said we would see. He said the kids loved it. He did not look at me when he said it. That small detail made my chest tighten. Mia spilled a little juice, and Ethan cleaned it without a word. Noah asked if Dad would come to his daycare show. Ethan said yes. Mia asked if Mum would come to her reading night. I said I would try. Ethan's mother looked at me and said Mia was excited. I said of course she was. I smiled too much. I could not stand how calm Ethan looked. It made me feel like I was losing the room. So I pushed my story harder. Ruth asked if everything was okay at home, in a soft voice. I said Ethan had been distant lately. I said he was stressed, and it made him controlling. I said he asked a lot of questions, and it made the house tense. I framed it like concern. I framed it like I was protecting the kids from his mood. Gordon did not react fast. He just listened. Then he said Ethan was a steady man, and he did not believe Ethan wanted control. He said if there were problems, they should be handled with respect. His tone was calm but firm. I felt judged. I told myself old men always sided with old rules. Ruth said she wanted peace for the children. She asked Ethan if he felt okay. Ethan said he was fine. He said he only wanted calm routines for Mia and Noah. He did not say my name. He did not accuse me. He just stayed simple. That made me sound like the only person with complaints. I tried to fix it by making Ethan look colder. I said he had started sleeping earlier. I said he did not hold my hand anymore. I said he ignored my feelings. Ethan finally looked at me and asked what feelings he ignored. He asked it in a low voice, not loud enough for the whole table, but enough for me to hear. I said he knew what I meant. He asked me to say it clearly. I said he was turning it into a debate. He said he was trying to understand. Gordon told Ethan to let it go for dinner. Ethan nodded and let it go. That made him look mature. That made me look like I was trying to start a scene. On the drive home, Ethan kept his eyes on the road. He asked if I was done telling people he was controlling. I said I was not telling people that. I was just being honest. He asked why my honesty always made him look bad. I said if he did not want to look bad, he should treat me better. He asked what better meant. I said it meant not questioning me all the time. He said he only asked questions when my story changed. I said my story did not change. His attitude changed. At home, the kids went to bed fast. The house felt too quiet. Ethan went to the mudroom and took off his shoes. He opened the closet where we kept paperwork and winter coats. I heard a drawer slide and then a soft click, like a lock. I walked in and asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing. He said he was making sure important things were safe. I said he did not do that before. He said life changed and he needed to be responsible. I said he was being dramatic. He said he was being careful. I noticed a few small things. A new key was on his ring. A folder on the bench had a plain label that said, Bank. There was a sticky note near the door that said, Bring forms. I asked if he was trying to scare me with props. He said he was not trying to scare me. He said he was trying to do things in a proper way. I followed him into the kitchen. He filled a glass of water and set it down. He asked if I wanted to talk about what was really happening. I said he already decided what was happening, and he just wanted me to confess to his fantasy. He said it was not fantasy. He said he would not argue with me anymore. He said he would not beg. He said he would handle it properly. He looked tired when he said it, not angry, not loud, just tired and sure. And for the first time, I could not tell myself it was a game. In the office tower lobby, a woman in a plain blazer walked up and asked if I was Lavinia Harper. I said yes. She handed me papers and said I was served. The first page listed the cabin camera footage by date and time, and it set a temporary parenting schedule that started that week. It also gave Ethan temporary exclusive use of the home, so I had to leave. Ethan stood behind her, calm, and said he would only discuss the kids and everything else would go through proper channels.